Hello, this is Stuart Fleming. Today we're going to go over how to build methods and then to use them on your web page. We have in the model, we have the view object flash VO. I've already done the work, but basically this. You go and open up the flash VO by double-clicking on it, and you go to the Java tab, and then you click this pencil. And by selecting these, it will automatically generate the Java classes. And then you can see them displayed underneath here. We're going to go over to the Flash VO impl, and you can see that I have here's the default constructor, and I have several methods. This is just a very simple get record count, and I concatenate a string onto it. This is to re-execute the query, and the reset does a reset of the view criteria. We have a create custom record, and that will actually do two things. One, it'll create a row, but it'll also run the go, which we use to go to the next form, because what we actually do is we add a new record on the table, but then we go to the form to actually enter it. And here actually is the one that I'm really concerned with today, because I'm stuck without search capabilities until I get this on. So basically, I'm going to be able to search on three fields in the form: the description, the content, and the tags. And I needed something that was fairly, I could have done it through a view criteria, but I thought it would be interesting to do it programmatically. It is actually extra overhead to do it this way. It's recommended that you use the view criteria, but we don't always pay attention to rules, do we? So let's go and pretend that we're going to expose this. Now, it's already been exposed in the client interface, but what you would do is press this pencil and then just shuttle them over, and they're already over there. And then you'd refresh your data control by pressing this refresh, and then you can see these three here are on the application module, but these are the ones that I've exposed on my view object. Go over to the main JSP, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag and drop, and we're going to do it as a parameter form. This is amazing because JDeveloper does half the work for you. And you can see now that I've got a button and an input text, which is amazing. And you can also see that if you take a look, here's the return, and then the parameters is the search values, which is this value here. Now, I just want to take a quick look at the return of that and see. It does a return of the record count. So we might want to put that on our form also. Okay. So actually, I'm wrong here. It's the return value that we want. So I'm going to just bring that over, and we'll put that out as an output text right there, and we'll make that pretty later. So let's run this, and you can see if we put in some information here, I'll put in a search term, Norton, because I just send some information about how to configure my Norton. Now you can see here that there's only one record. Now, of course, that's nice, but what happens is when we come into this form, it actually displays all the records, and it might be nice to know how many we actually have. So let's work on having this automatically populate when we first arrive. Okay, so first we'll get rid of this. And what we'll do next is pull the get record count method onto the form. But we're going to do it in a slightly different way. We're not going to pull it onto the form. We're going to pull it onto the task flow. And let me show you. Okay, so we go to the task flow, and you can see the flash table is the default value. We're going to get our data control, and we can get some space here. We'll just drag that on. Now, what we need to do is draw a line from here to here, and it actually let me before it was giving me some heck. But since this is the default activity, we really need to have this run first. So we're going to set this as the default activity. So you right click and you mark activity and you set default activity. And also beware that you need to have a default activity. If you don't, you'll get a mess like this, and this is some error having to do with my deployment. So make sure that your um, bounded task flows have default activities set. Okay, now we're going to go back to the form, and we're going to drag this return value here onto the form as a read-only ADF output text. And we'll run it. Okay, the form is starting up. And you can see that it automatically sets now. So the next step is just to clean this up, put some values in here that'll make it look nicer. And then also we want to have something that will add buttons here. So that's basically it. It's very simple. It's an amazing capability that you can just drag a method. When you first, on your VO, you expose the method here. You create it here by pressing the pencil and selecting it. Then you write the methods that you need, and then you publish them onto the data object, or the data control, excuse me, down here by just shuttling them over. They show up here, and then you drag and drop them onto your form and select a parameter form like this. Now that one doesn't take anything, so but this one, and you would just say ADF parameter form. It's an amazing capability. Makes development very quick. I hope that was helpful for you, and have a good evening.